In 1913, a new highway connects one coast to the other, and it also connects a little-known actress to adoring fans. And while you've probably never heard of her, her story inspires people who hear it, even more than a century later. They called her the Paramount Girl. The Lincoln Memorial may be the most famous tribute to the 16th president, but it is not the first. It's dedicated in 1922. Nine years earlier, this is the first memorial to Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Highway. At the time, it spans 3,389 miles through 13 states, from California to New York. It's dedicated October 31st, 1913. And it's a bit of a frightening ride for America's first automobiles, especially, they thought, for a woman. That sounds like a challenge for a young woman named Anna.
She was trying to inspire young women that they could do anything that they dreamed.
Anna Keppen is born to German immigrants in Michigan City, Indiana in 1884.
She was one of 9 children. She lost both of her parents by the time that she was 14. So she really, at that time, had to work hard to keep her family together. Early on in the research, when I was able
Kayla Vasilko is a graduate student at Purdue University Northwest. She's the creator of an exhibit dedicated to Anna at the Historical Society Museum in LaPorte County, Indiana. Anna leaves the farm and moves to Chicago, where she models and performs in the theater. That's where she meets one of the most famous actresses of her day, Lillian Russell, who encourages her to head west to Hollywood and change her name. Farm girl Anna Keppen becomes Hollywood actress Anita King. Beauty and brawn. She even does her own stunts in her films. Some of her work with cars leads to a love of driving and a short career in racing.
Yeah.
Lushan and Alita are the great-great nieces of Anita King.
So I thought, oh, she's kind of an intriguing lady. I need to do some investigating, so.
Lushan, Alita, and their youngest sister Heather would pursue a project that brings the Anita King exhibit to life. The story starts in Hollywood. At Paramount Pictures, Anita King overhears studio executive Jesse Lasky talking about a new highway.
Even though it was finished, they were saying that it was still quite rough and that it would be years yet before a woman would be able to make that trek.
Anita is willing to do it alone.
Anita always had something to prove, that she was strong, that women could do these things against the doubt that surrounded society at that time.
While Anita King moves to make history, Lasky sees an opportunity.
They connected her with Firestone Tires and the Kissel Car Company, and before she knew it, she had a new car and the promise of her very own picture should she be successful. This is exactly how Anita King's car looked in 1915 when she made that cross-country trek.
On August 25th, 1915, 30-year-old Anita King gets behind the wheel of her Kissel car in California and heads to New York. She takes gas, food, and water. Her only companions, a rifle and a 6-shooter. There are conflicting reports on whether she ever had to fire them.
I know that there was much doubt, surrounding Anita during the whole thing, not just from them, but from all of society. But Anita proved very early on that she was determined.
But despite her history-making trip, the name Anita King is still not well known, not even in her hometown.
Is that probably one of the first movies that she was in?
Bruce Johnson is a historian at the LaPorte County Historical Society Museum.
I didn't know who she was. And I thought, how did this get past me? I've done research on people from Indiana for years.
The trip from California to New York takes 49 days, and she arrives to a hero's welcome, the first woman to drive solo across the United States. Paramount Pictures uses her story to inspire the film The Race. King stars in it and performs her own stunts. Eventually, silent movies are replaced by the talkies, but the film industry evolves without Anita King.
The media claimed it was because she didn't have a great quality of voice, but others kind of feel it was because she was such a fierce activist as a woman.
Anita King may have been silent on the screen, but not off. She speaks out for other women in the industry and even opens a safe house for young women starting out in film.
She was a tough lady, yes.
As a girl, Lushan remembers meeting her Aunt Anita at family reunions in Indiana.
That's Aunt Anita. That's her sister.
In 2015, Lushan, Alita, and their youngest sister Heather recreate their great-great-aunt Anita's drive across the country. The ride is certainly an easier ride in the 21st century, but they still experience challenges. They stop at an Anita King exhibit in Nevada, but it's closed. Even the Lincoln bust in Laramie, Wyoming is a bust.
So come to find out, they had taken him down that morning that we were going to go there for it to be cleaned.
An Anita King mural in Iowa is painted over.
We ran into a few glitches. I mean, they made us laugh. It wasn't, life-threatening or anything, but...
But they arrive at New York City's Knickerbocker Hotel, just as Anita King had done 1 century earlier.
Yeah, very proud of what she did, what she accomplished.
Shortly after their journey, Heather was diagnosed with brain cancer.
It was like, oh, we're so thankful that she took the trip with us, that she decided at the last minute to join, and she had a blast.
Heather died in 2017. Anita King's solo trip across the Lincoln Highway helped spread prosperity across the continent, inspiring the nickname the Main Street across America.
Incredible story. So many things about it. Becoming a race car driver and winning awards. This is fascinating. This will be in my programs in the future.
And she was carrying around a very large antique camera so that she could capture snippets of her journey to be.
Thanks to a college student, a forgotten pioneer is brought to life through pictures, films, and artifacts like this authentic Kissel car from the Wisconsin Auto Museum. The exhibit shows how Anita King's story can now inspire others more than a century later.
The one common thread in her story is that she never gave up. She faced a lot of doubt and from many different people because of many different things, but she believed in herself. She was strong and she persevered.
In Illinois, the Lincoln Highway is a stretch of US 30 that cuts through the south and southwest suburbs.
That's strike 2.
Coming up on Backstory,
The President of the United States.
President Reagan visits Wrigley Field.
Play announcer